Hey, I'm John, and this is Dude DIY, your new go-to channel for tackling all kinds of DIY projects from big to small. For our first series, we're going to take on a really big project, and that is finishing my unfinished basement. Before I get started, I actually want to give you a tour of the completely unfinished basement so you can see what we're working with. We've got about 1,600 square feet, but I'm not going to use all of it. I'm not going to finish all of it right now. I'm going to actually leave a section of it unfinished for now. But it's got a ton of potential. There's some weird quirks to it too, so we'll have to work through that, and I'm going to take you guys along on the journey. So before we get started, let's start with the tour.
All right, so we're going to start the tour at the bottom of the stairs. Got this little landing here, and then a door to the left. I do plan on adding a door right here as well, so you'll be able to get to the basement from both sides. I'll explain why here in just a minute. The landing's like 3 feet by 3 feet, not super big, but there's not much of an option there. Can't move the wall any and can't move the stairs any. So, all right, let's go down into the actual basement. So the reason why I'm going to add a second door is because this first room right here is actually going to be a bedroom. There's a window there, so I've got egress here. So because this is a bedroom, I want to take the door handle and I want to flip it the other way so that you can lock this door from the inside. But I also want to still have a door that goes to the basement that can't be locked from the inside, you know, just for emergency reasons. So I am going to do all of the exterior walls they're going to be 6 inches thick, which is that blue line there. I'm going to do 2 inches of foam board, then standard 2x4 framing, and then 1/2 inch drywall. Put insulation inside the framing, of course. The exception is this spot right here, right next to the door, and then it will be the same on the other side of the basement. That's actually going to have to be more like 4 inches because this from the concrete wall to the door jamb is only like 5 1/4 inches. And so because I can't move the wall and I really can't move the door because of where the stairs are, I'm just gonna have to make about a 4-foot span a little bit thinner than the rest of the wall. I mean, it's not gonna look terrible. It's gonna be a little less insulated, but I think it'll do. The only other option I have would be to take this door, which is a 32-inch door, and turn it into a 30-inch door, which I really don't want to do because it's already hard enough to get stuff down here because of this little area. Not a lot of pivot room. Ross from Friends would be very upset. I am hoping that the other door will help that a little bit, having 2 doors here, but I still don't want to make it a smaller door. So as I mentioned, there's a window here, so we're gonna have egress. There's a window over there as well, so we can also have egress, so that's gonna be another bedroom. Right here is going to be a tiny little hallway, so there'll be a door here. I am gonna do 30-inch doors in all of the rooms in here, just to save some space, especially for this little hallway. I may end up going 32, but my plan right now is 30-inch doors here. So there will be another door right here. I just don't have it marked out on tape. And this is going to be a bathroom. It's not huge, but it will be a fully functioning bathroom. So there will be a bathroom sink, there will be a toilet, and then there will be a tub shower right there. Behind the bathroom, there's actually going to be closets for each of the bedrooms. And so I know that this channel is called Dude DIY, and I am going to do pretty much everything myself except for one thing, and it's actually the first thing that I'm gonna do before I start working on anything else in the basement. Need to move this pipe all the way back to that spot right there, and then I'm gonna kind of frame it in. You'll be able to access it from both the closets. And then I need to plumb for the sink, toilet, and bath. I think when they built this house, they had it planned to put a toilet right there. Not quite where I need it to be, so we're gonna just go ahead and move it. And I am going to hire a professional to do that. The plumbing part wouldn't be so bad, but I do not want to cut into the basement concrete myself. Not licensed, not insured, never done it before. I'm pretty willing to try things that I've never done before, but that could be a really expensive and terrible mistake if I do something wrong, so I am gonna have someone who knows what they're doing do that part. Everything else I plan on doing myself. Before we move to the next section, I do want to talk about this wall. So it was drywalled by the previous owner. Not sure why they did it, but they did. But if you look here, there is vapor barrier under there, but it is just wood vapor barrier drywall, and I'm not super thrilled with that. The other thing is, if you look right here, so there's about an inch of space between the drywall and the concrete, and so I need to fill that gap so that I can do my normal wall, which I'm going to do the same across the entire basement, the foam board, framing, and then insulation and drywall. My two options are I can get some wood, some 1x, put it right there, and just kind of have some gluing surface to be able to hook my foam board to, or I can rip the drywall down, put foam board, 1.5 inches of foam board, then my normal 2 inches of foam board. That would close that gap and provide double insulation. I haven't decided yet. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your suggestions down in the comments below, and let me know what you think I should do. So yeah, bedroom, bathroom, closets, bedroom. Then we come into the area that is going to be our family room slash area where we can do activities and stuff. So this whole section right here to that shelf is going to be a family room. So there'll be a wall that will go, you can see that blue line right there. There'll be a wall that will go from there all the way across and shut that off. I'll put a door there. Gonna leave that as storage for now. So I have a family room here, little walkway. There's gonna be a hallway right here, kind of a big hallway, so I think I'm gonna put a built-in right there, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then we have this big utility closet. I don't like that it's as big as it is, but the drain's right here. I really don't think there's a point in moving it, so just gonna make it a little bit bigger. You'll notice the hot water heater is not inside of this box. The reason why is because we're gonna get rid of that and we're gonna put in a tankless water heater and mount it to this wall right here. And so that'll go away. We'll have unlimited hot water, which I'm super excited about. And this back area here, so from this line all the way to the back wall is going to be like an entertainment room, a game room, a movie theater room. We'll put a big TV, a pool table, that sort of stuff. And then so in this built-in, because there'll be a wall there with a door, there'll be a wall from there to here, be a door. So the built-in in this big hallway, I think I will make it to where you can store, games, that sort of stuff. And then on the top, maybe have like a little popcorn machine or, whatever, little mini fridge, stuff that we can store things to use in that room. One of the things I'm really not happy about, but I don't know that I have a lot of option, is, so this is the staircase right here. That's what that drywall is. And so at the bottom of that landing, that is set up right against this, and I'm assuming the other side's the same, but it is behind a little bit of drywall. But there is nothing there. No vapor barrier, no insulation, no foam board. There is nothing. But I don't really, that's a load-bearing wall. I just don't know that I want to go through the hassle of trying to do something there when I'm not sure there would be a whole lot that I would be able to do, because I am putting a door here. So right around here will be it. Honestly, like, the door jamb will probably go right up to that, which is what they did on the other side because there's not a ton of room. I also need to move this. So this is a sub panel. The main panel's in the garage upstairs. It's 100 amp, and they did some really sketchy wiring to hook some of the basement lights up to it. But the only other thing that it's really feeding power to is a heat pump. But I do want to end up having the whole basement controlled by this panel, and remove anything that's being controlled by the upstairs panel from it. I am also going to go ahead and insulate all of the exterior walls, even in the storage area. And I'm going to do that because I don't want to lose some of that insulating value, because a big part of the basement will not have insulation if I don't go ahead and do the walls. But apart from that, I'm not going to do anything over there. So the rim joists. So some of the fiberglass insulation, as you can see, is a little rough. I'm going to take all of it out. I'm going to put foam board in, and then I'm going to use spray foam to seal up the corners. And then I'll probably put rock wool over it, because I think I'm going to end up putting rock wool and insulating the entire basement ceiling, house floor with rock wool. And then I'm going to put a drop ceiling in, just to kind of hide, you know, there's a lot of pipes and wires and all of that stuff on there, so I want to kind of hide most of that. The only other thing that I think I want to talk about right now is this. So I have this big steel beam that goes all the way across the basement. It's kind of holding the house up, so we like it. We don't want to move it. Where the bedrooms and bathrooms are, it's going to either be exposed and I'll paint it, or I'll box it in and put drywall over it. But for the rest of the basement, so the full remaining span, I'm just going to turn it into a wall, and that will be a wall that separates. So from this spot right here where the closet starts, all the way down the rest of the basement, it's going to be a wall. There's already a 2x6 up there, so I'll put another 2x6 under it. I'll put a 2x6 on the floor, and then I'll just frame it in like you would any other wall, drywall over it. No one will know it's here. The only part I haven't decided yet is, so the stairs to this area, I really like open concept for the most part, and so I don't really want to put a wall and a door there, so it might just actually be exposed there too. Or like I said, we'll box it in, and it'll just kind of look like a separation, a threshold, because it'll be boxed in and drywalled. So I think that's about it. So obviously this is a huge project. There's going to be a ton to do. It's going to be a ton of work. I'm excited to take on the challenge. I'm excited to learn some new stuff. I hope that you guys are able to learn some stuff as well. And who knows, maybe it'll inspire you to finish your own basement. So that's the basement tour. I'm ready to get started. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm ready to take you guys with me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe so you can follow along with my journey. I plan on documenting everything, minus maybe the plumbing part. Obviously, another company's coming in. I'm not sure if I'll be able to film any of that. I'll see if I can. If I can, I will. If I can't, I'll at least come show you it after it's done. And then we'll be able to really get started and throw up some insulation and you know, get this project going. So like I said, be sure to follow, and let's get started.